Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill, they say it's no longer feasible to repeal and replace Obamacare because it's so entrenched in the system. Do you see it that way? Is that now off the table, repealing and replacing?
When John McCain let us down by voting, and Murkowski and Collins and whoever it was.
The rest of them, he was the last one, but.
That voted against. But they really let us down. They did us a great disservice because we would have had great health. Obama.
Really? What was the plan?
Obamacare is lousy health care.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's very expensive health care.
Oh, it's very expensive.
Care for the people. It's also expensive for the country, but for the people, it's lousy health care.
Oh, it's terrible health care. You don't even get a wet nap.
Yeah. When John McCain gave his thumbs down after saying for 10 years that he wants to repeal and replace, okay?
Yeah, it's the replace part. You didn't have anything to replace it with, so he wasn't going to repeal it without something to replace it with, and so you didn't have anything, and I don't know if you know this, but it has been longer than 2 weeks.
And then he came out, put his now famous thumbs down, and he became a hero to the left. Let me tell you.
And everybody who needed insurance who got it from the ACA.
If we find something better.
If? Motherfucker. What?
I'm a hero to the left. Let me tell you. If we find something better, I would love to do it. But
if we find something, I don't know, what are you going to do? Dig around in Biden's drawers? You know what you're going to find? The ACA with a public option attached.
Unless we find.
That's what's something better. You want something better? That's better. That's it. That's how you're going to do it. You want something better? ACA with a public option. Ta-da! Do it, motherfucker. Good Lord, if we find something. This asshole.
One thing I have to say, I inherited Obamacare or anything else you want to go. It's got about 20 names.
No, it doesn't. It's the Affordable Care Act, and other people call it Obamacare because they meant to deride it, but they wanted to change it. Nobody else calls it anything else. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Nobody else does. You're very weird.
But I inherited it, and I had a decision to make with Health and Human Services. I had a big decision to make. Do I make it as good as we can make it, or do I let it rot? And
at the expense of 24 million people who rely on it for insurance.
A lot of political people said, let it rot.
Did they? Yeah, let it rot, and then people will just go. They'll go back to the status quo of people being kicked off their insurance for pre-existing conditions.
And let it be a failure.
Yeah, name those people. I would like the names of those people. Chris Walker, like who? I know it was Mike Lee. I know it was probably Jim Jordan, more than likely. But let's get them on the record so we can go talk to them. So they told you let it rot. They told you let the Affordable Care Act rot. You didn't have a replacement, but they just said let that rot. Let it die. For what purpose?
I said that's not the right thing to do. And I had very good people in the medical area.
Yeah, in the medical area. Your proctologist, Dr. Vinny Boombots.
That handled that. And I said, what do you...
By the way, you're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, share it around, etc., etc., etc. Everybody, thank you for the super chats as well. Pentax Design. Oh, how you can't just follow his big brain weave. That's true. I don't know how to follow the weave in that. We will need to see his Wharton diploma. This is true. Julie, thank you as well. It's going to be a lot. Yeah, keep the great talks. 2024 has been a shit show. 2025 is going to be a big clusterfuck. Hey, I'm going to do my best to keep you on your flat on your feet and ready to fight.
What we want to do is that we really have...
Metaphorically.
Have an obligation to make it as good as we can. And we did. We made it as good as...
What obligation?
We can make it. Instead of making it...
Unstead. That's a word, sure. Unstead. That's how you talk. That's not something... That's not a word that would just pop out of a demented brain at all. Unstead.
Where everybody would be calling for its repeal. I made it so that it works now.
But you did try to overturn it, sir.
Well, it's lousy.
You did try to overturn it. You did have your Justice Department...
She seems to be talking like his nurse at an old folks home. You did, remember? Yeah. Don't ask me where your keys are when we both know you're sitting on them.
Try to direct the Supreme Court to...
No, we got a little bit of a surprising opinion, to be honest with you. If it would have been overturned, we would have had much better health care right now. But
how? With what?
Right now, we have something that I made the best of. I could have made the worst of it, and it would have fallen by the wayside. I did the right thing from a human standpoint.
From a human standpoint.
But, you know, I'm sort of proud of my decision at the
Sorta. That's all you can ask for. I mean, really, you just be sort of proud.
same time.
At the same time, I'm very disappointed with myself. Kind of like 2 minutes after I attempt to have sex.
Sometimes I regret it. I told the people, and I gave them the money to do it. I said, fix it, make it work.
Did you? And you gave them the money. Not your money. It's obviously the taxpayers' money, and I don't know what money you're talking about because it's funded. That's the kind of point.
Because people would have suffered. But it's too bad that they voted no. I wish John McCain, he fought for 10 years on replacing Obamacare for 10 years. And then,
Yeah, repair and replace. That was what it's good. Yeah. Safe flight repair, safe flight replace. He's seen the ads on Fox. That's why that happened to his brain. We all know it. You know it. I know it. He said repair and replace because safe flight repair, safe flight replace.
and he voted against. Nobody understands
Sir,
it.
you
I know it. I understand entirely. You had no replacement, dumbass. That's exactly why. Safe flight repair, safe flight replace.
said during the campaign you had concepts of a plan. Do you have an actual plan at this point for health care?
Yes, we have concepts of a plan that would
Motherfucker.
be better.
Still just
We have concepts of a plan that would be better. I don't know. Hey, maybe this is a nutty thing. Write some of them down. I don't know. Put them in a truth sinkhole post.
concepts. Do you have a fully developed plan?
Let me explain.
Yes, please do, because nobody knows what the fuck your addled, farty brain is talking about.
We have the biggest healthcare companies looking at it. We have doctors. We're always looking.
You're always looking. It's around here somewhere. We're always looking. I know I left it here. It's a motherfucker. It was over here, and I put it. Is it down? No, that's not. It's not down there.
Because Obamacare stinks.
Oh, okay. Does it?
It's
Might be your upper lip.
lousy.
It's lousy. It sucks. It's bad, but it's hard to replace. I mean, what are you going to do? It's it's terrible, and I can't come up with anything better than terrible. You do realize you're self-dunking, right? You dum-dum. You do realize this is a self-dunk.
There are better answers. If we come up with a
If motherfucker.
better answer, I would present that answer to Democrats and to everybody else, and I do something about it. But
If
until we have that,
shut the fuck up.
or until they can approve it, but
Approve what? You got to have it before it can be approved, dummy. That's not the order of things. I'm just saying it has to exist before we have to have an opinion about it, because we don't know what the fuck you are talking about, you absolute dickhead.
we're not going to go through the big deal.
No, we're not going to do that.
I am the one that saved Obamacare.
Which sucks. Thanks.
I will say, and I did the right thing. I could have done the more political thing and killed it. And all
And then what? Lots of people die, and you're like, hey man, you can't make an omelet without killing some old folks.
I had to do is starve it to death.
You did try to have your Justice Department effectively kill it, though,
No,
sir.
kill it from a legal standpoint,
Yeah, not actually. Can you choke a bill?
but from a physical standpoint, I made it work.
In your
Physical standpoint. Of what? A physical standpoint? What did you do? Change the oil?
concepts of a plan, sir, will people with pre-existing
Oh, of course they will. It's how.
conditions still have coverage, and can you guarantee their prices will not go
The
up?
answer is yes, they'll have coverage. You have to have it.
And what about
How? The answer. The question isn't will you have it, because he'll always say yes. It's how, you dumb son of a bitch. And Kristen Welker, shame on you. How? Nobody gives a fuck what he says he's going to do. How?
their
Because
prices?
you know what?
What about their prices, sir?
I want the prices to go down.
Great. Well, then why did you say so? Shit. How about this? Public option, and the ACA can negotiate drug prices for anybody who's on their program, which would drive the insurance costs through the fucking floor. And you could, You could add that to Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. Any kind of like secondary. If anybody on Social Security could negotiate for certain drugs that we buy in mass, how about that? Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking about the how. You just want it.
I want to have better health care.
Great. Then do it.
For less money. And
who doesn't, you dumb motherfucker?
there are ways of doing it.
Yeah, like what?
Believe. And
You believe. I think they're in the Ark of the Covenant. There are ways of doing it, I believe. Really? Really?
I have the smartest people in that world. You know, that's a separate world unto
It is. It's like they're off planet.
itself. I have the smartest people in that world looking at it.
Yeah, they're like, what? How do you beat the Affordable Care Act sucks, but you can't do any better. We're trying. We can't think of one.
And trying, and if they come up with something, I will present it. Now, maybe you won't be able to sell it, but if we get better health care for less money, I believe it's very saleable.
It's very saleable. You know what? I'm sure it fucking is. You know what it will require? A public fucking option. Right? Then insurance companies would have to compete with the government program, which would have all the bells and whistles that they would have and be more reliable. And then it would keep them on par. They're like, if they want to sell you what they got, it might be a little more expensive because they offer extra services above and beyond. That sounds like free market capitalism to me. Why don't you work that shit out? We got cops and you can hire security if you need it. We got public schools and you go to a private school if you want to. How about we have a public option for insurance and you can get private insurance if you want to too? Fuck are you guys worried about?
Very quickly, when will we see your fully developed plan? When?
In 2 weeks.
Are you
Well,
gonna
I
show
don't know
the
that you'll
public
see it at all. I can only say that we have some of the best healthcare people.
Whoa. What?
Plan? When are you
Well,
going to
I
show
don't know
the
that you'll
public
see
that?
it at all. I can
I don't know that you'll see it at all.
only say that we have some of the best healthcare people. I've always tinkered with it.
No. No. You guys, no. Jesus Christ. Tinker with your nut, you weirdo.
I think
Therefore, I fart.
it's a little hard to explain.
You think? I don't know why it would be. You want cheaper healthcare that's faster, better, more beautiful, shiny, also big, much bigger, but also compact. And I've got the best people working on it, but if they don't come up with it, they might turn out to be the worst. We'll have to let you know, and I don't know. And this whole Santa Claus bullshit is really not paying off the way I thought.
Obamacare, when I took it over, was a disaster.
And I understand that. You've said that before. So the point you're trying to make is you can't come up with anything better than a disaster. That's disaster. Motherfucker. Disaster's the floor, and you can't do any better than that. You got the best people working on this, and you can't come up with something better than disaster. You can't top disaster. What? Oh. Hold on, I have to grab it. Where's my little clip button? Is it in here? Should be around there somewhere. I guess not. Okay. Clip. There we go. That'll work. I clipped something. I was making a clip. And then does this do markers? It should, right? Hold on. Boop. What's that? Okay. I'm going to make my stuff shut down if I fuck around with the software too much.
And I made it
Has insured
workable.
20 million people.
Yeah, because of me.
Jesus. Yeah. Yes, because it used to support 24 million people, and because of you, it's down to 20. What the fuck? Don't pull your arm out of the socket, patting yourself on the back.
Because of me. If you look at what I did, I was the one. I made it good.
You
yeah,
tried to
legally.
repeal and replace it. You tried to kill it,
Because if I repealed
sir.
it and replaced it, we would have had a better system. Because
With what? Like, you can tell she's starting to kind of get okay.
we wouldn't have had health care, and the Democrats would.
We wouldn't have had health care. Okay, I can't in my own head make that make sense, so I'm going to back up. Chat room, I love you guys.
I did. I was the one. I made it good.
You tried to
legally.
repeal and replace it. You tried to kill it,
Because if I repealed
sir.
it and replaced it, we would have had a better system because we wouldn't have had health care. And
If I had repealed and replaced it, okay, maybe I did hear it right. It just didn't make any fucking sense. Good Lord. If I repealed and replaced it, it would have been better because we wouldn't have had health care. That seems to be the statement, yes? Again, why is that not a headline?
if I repealed it and replaced it, we would have had a better system because we wouldn't have had health care. And the Democrats would have been forced
Oh, sorry, there was a follow-up.
to do something.
And the Democrats would have been forced to do something because if they didn't, we'd let 20 million people die. That's called leverage. What chapter of Art of the Deal is let a bunch of old people and people with pre-existing conditions croak because you don't care, but they do?
If we wouldn't have had it, the Democrats would have been forced to do something that they wouldn't do if we have it.
Let me ask.
Okay, he's lost the script. Honest to fucking God, he does not know what he's saying. You can tell. Look at his face. Look at his fucking face. He's like, I'm not even sure what side of the argument I'm on at this point. Am I arguing for this shit now?
About another aspect of healthcare. You talked about this on the campaign trail, IVF. You promised free IVF for all who want it, either through the government or through mandates with insurance companies. I've been hearing from
Sounds like a regulation.
Republican senators, some of them, who say they're not going to support that plan. How are you going to get that passed?
Well, we're going to see. We want them to pay, ideally the insurance companies to pay for it, the fertilization.
Yeah. They want to pay for fertilization. It's not just for all right. It's not like all for. They're not paying for orgasms, you weirdo.
I came out very early for a Republican, especially, and I think they were looking for my guidance, my great wisdom, right?
Yeah, totally. They were absolutely like, how do I fix this? You shit the bed, and now we want you to mop it up.
They were looking for it, and I got a call from Katie Britt, who's a terrific person, senator from Alabama, and she said, sir, we just had a really negative ruling from a judge in Alabama, conservative judge, that all of these clinics had to be closed. And she said, and she went into great detail, and she said people are devastated over it. And after literally speaking to her for 5 minutes, I issued an order, really an order in a sense.
In a sense, sort of.
And it was a statement from the Republican Party that we are all for IVF and for.
No, they're not. If you are, you're not pro-life. Not in the way they think of it, anyways. Because fertilized eggs get thrown out when you do IVF. Period. End of story. If you believe life begins at conception, then you are aborting dozens, if not hundreds, of eggs over the period these folks are doing this stuff. Each clinic. So, no, they don't. They're not for it. They'll just suck it up, and then I don't know what their alternative is.
Fertilization. Okay. The Alabama legislature met the following day and passed it. It was a beautiful thing to see. And I consider myself to be the father of IVF in a certain way. And the Republicans were very strong on the issue.
But, sir.
Good Lord. First of all, Democrats didn't need to have any of that bullshit because we understand it and we're already for it, you absolute fucking weirdo.
I want to understand where it falls in your list of priorities. I mean, is this something we can expect to see you try to move on in the first 100 days?
We're going to be talking about it, and we're going to be.
Of course. Yeah. Of course you're going to be talking about it. You're going to be talking about everything.
Seeing we have a lot of other things. I have tax cuts. We'll be submitting in either the first or second package to Congress the extension of the tax cuts. So that
either the first or the second, somewhere after that. Yeah, I have concepts of a tax cut.
Might very well be in there, or it'll come sometime after that.
Let's talk.
Yeah, or sometime as time moves forward, which I understand that it does.
About abortion, sir. You have taken responsibility for overturning Roe v. Wade. You've said that abortion is now a state issue. There are steps that you could take, though, as president, to restrict abortion through executive action without Congress. More than half of abortions in this country are medication abortions. Will you restrict the availability of abortion pills when you're in office?
I'll probably stay with exactly what I've been saying for the last 2 years.
Whatever that was.
And the answer is no.
You commit to that?
Well, I commit. I mean, do things change? I think they change. I hate to go on shows like Joe Biden. I'm not going to give my son a pardon. I will not, under any circumstances, give him a pardon. I watched this, and I always knew he was going to give him a pardon. And I don't like putting myself in a position like that. So things do change, but I don't think it's going to change at all.
Oh.
Well, why would it change? For real, like you would change. That's what she's asking. She's not asking if the circumstances on the ground change. You're either for that or against it. You're from a pro-life standpoint, you're either for medical abortions or not.
Okay. Let's talk about.
I'm sorry, he's too stupid to understand that.